Okay, gentlemen, for today's video, and this is Tuesday, February 27th. For today's video, I'm only going to go over the homework, and the reason for that is that I'm going to go over most of the homework, and we'll hit all of the concepts we learned in class. So let's start here. Our directions are to solve each problem and show work using MOL, as always. And then remember simplifying expressions in each answer choice. Okay, so this is really important for me to note, is that in each of my answer choices, I'm really going to check to see if it's the correct answer choice, because we will have more than one answer choice for several of these. An electronics store is going out of business and selling all of its electronics for 84% off of the original price. Now that is a very big discount. If a tablet had an original price of N dollars, which of the expressions below cannot be used to find the discounted price of the tablet? Okay. So I'm going to go back here and read this again. I have my electronics store selling electronics for 84% off. That's a discount. All right, and then I have my original price here, which is N, it's variable. And I'm looking for the one that cannot, which means that there are 3 of these answer choices that can be used to find the discounted price of the tablet. But I'm still going to do this the kind of the old-fashioned way. I'm going to start with my OPM chart. So here, my original price, I do not know. It is N. Okay. My percent discount is minus 84%. And the new is what I don't know, but in this case, I'm not actually even going to find the new, right? I'm really dealing with the different ways that I can combine the original and the percent to get answers that are correct, to get expressions that will help me find the right answer. Okay. So over here, I'm going to do my original times percent, our old friend, equals new. Although again, I'm not really dealing with this right here. My original times my percent. If my original is N, and since I have 84%, 100% minus 84% is going to be 16%. So if I do N times 0.16, that's certainly one way for me to write an expression that helps me find the discounted price. And I see that over here. I see 0.16N. So this is one of my answers. And now I want to take a look and see which ones of these are not equivalent. If I do N, which is the original price, minus 0.84N, which means 84% of N, I'm going to get 16%, which is my new price. So this is also an expression that will help me find, oh, I don't know why it disappeared, that will help me find the discounted price. My next one here, I have N minus 0.16N. So if I have the original minus the 16%, which is what you'll be paying, I'm actually not going to get my discounted price. I'm going to get 84% of the original. So this one I know is not going to work. And let me just check C just in case. So I have 1 minus 0.84 times N, which is the same when I do 1 minus 0.84, I'm going to get 0.16N. So A, C, and D are all telling me how I can find the discounted price. They're all equivalent expressions. So my answer here is B, because this one cannot, excuse me, help me find the discounted price. Let's move on down to number 2. A graphing calculator was purchased from the manufacturer for K dollars. It is then marked up by 15% and sold. which of the following expressions represents the selling price of the calculator after the markup? And here's my tricky circle all that apply, show or explain your reasoning. All right, let's go back and read this one again. I had a lot of information here. My graphing calculator was purchased from the manufacturer for K. That's my original. And I have here a markup. That's an increase. By 15%, and then sold, which expression represents the selling price after the markup. Circle all that apply and explain your reasoning. So I'm going to guess that there's probably more than one answer here that's going to work for me. This is another percent problem, so I'm going to do another OPM chart because it helps me. And my original price here is the variable K. It is plus 15%. Okay, and then again, the new one is not really what I'm worried about so much. I'm worried about the expression that'll help me get the answer. So if I were to write this, I would put original times percent is equal to new. And in this case, I would put K times, since it's going 15% up, I would do 1.15, which would represent the price plus the markup. All right. So let's go over here to A, to these problems and see what I have. Now, I don't actually have one that says K times 1.15. That isn't actually there. Although I'm looking at E, and I'm seeing 1 plus 0.15 times K, which is equivalent to K times 1.15, because if I added these together, right, I would get 1.15 K. All right, so I think E is one of my answers. Now let's hop back up to A. So this one here says 0.15 K. And what this is giving me is 15% of K, but that's not enough. I have to add it to the original. I'd have to add it to K. So this one is basically showing me what would happen if it was a discount, okay? Same here, I have 0.85 K. This person said, oh, it's a discount and I'm only spending 85%. But that's not the case, right? Because we're working with a markup and we want the price after the markup. Now here I have K plus 0.15K. And so that's the original, K represents the original, plus 0.15K, which represents 15% of the original. So the original plus 15% of the original. So I think C is another answer that's going to be good for us. Now let me look at D. Here I have K minus 0.15K. This is another one where I have my original minus 15% of the original. It's another discount, okay? So my answers here are going to be C and E. Okay, we're going to move on to the next page. Now these problems, these first two problems on this mixed review, originally I wasn't going to go over because it's not really equivalent expressions, but they are tricky and they are things that you're going to see, so I am going to go over them. All right, so let's do blue. All right, Zymira earns a 5% commission. Here we go again with commission on all sales at a jewelry store, plus $10 an hour. Yesterday, she sold $3,200 in merchandise and earned a total of $240. How many hours does she work? Okay, well, I'm going to read this again because it seems like whoever made this question really wanted us to struggle through it. So Zymira earns a 5% commission. That's an increase, okay? Plus $10 an hour, that's her base pay. Yesterday, she sold 3,200 in merchandise and earned a total of 240. How many hours does she work? So I'm going to need more than just an OPN. I'm going to do my key information box, okay? And I know that, and I'm going to go a little bit backwards here. So she earned 240, okay? I know that she sold 3,200. And I know that her base pay is $10 an hour, and I know that her commission is 5%, okay? Oops, my H is a little sloppy here, forgive me. Now I am going to do an OPM chart, okay, because I do have my original, my percent change, and my new. I first want to find out how much commission she made, okay? So if she sold $3,200 worth of product and earned 5% of that product, this will give me her commission. I'm going to go over here, original times percent equals new. All right, so in this case, it's $3,200 times 0.05, which will give me her commission, which was $160. So she earned $160 in commission. Now what I need to do is I need to take what she earned total, 240. I need to subtract the 160 from that. All right, and yours is going to be a little neater than mine because this pen is kind of clunky, kind of big, so I can't write really small. So 240 minus 160. 240 minus 160 is going to give me 80. And I've been working on this problem for so long, I really just want to stop here. But I have one more step to do. I have to divide this 80 by how much she makes an hour. Because remember, my question was, how many hours does she work? So I do 80 divided by 10. Good news, I can do that with mental math. And I come up with 8 hours. All right, take a moment to breathe that all in. We'll review. She was given a 5% commission. She had a $10 base price. Yesterday at work, she sold $3,200 worth of merchandise, which meant that she earned $160 in commission. So if she earned a total of $240 for the day, what I'm looking for is how many hours does she work? I do that by going backwards, finding her base pay, and dividing that by 10. Okay, and so when we did that, we came up with 240 minus 160, which was her commission. We landed on her base pay of 80. We divided that by 10 because she makes $10 an hour, and we got 8. Let's take a look at another one, because this one is also a little bit of a doozy, but I know you guys can get it, and you're going to have to. All right, first let me erase this from here so that I don't have anything above the problem. Okay. All right. You make a commission working at Foot Locker. On Saturday, you sold $1,500 worth of merchandise, and made $120 in commission. On Sunday, you sold $1,300 worth of merchandise. If you made the same percent commission, how much did you make on Sunday? Okay, looks like I crossed out one of my answer choices, so did not mean to do that. All right, so here, what is it that I have? What is the key information that I have in this problem? All right, I know that I work on commission. I don't know what that commission percentage is, but I know that I sold $1,500 worth of shoes, and that gave me $120 commission. And the next day I sold $1,300 worth of shoes, and I'm looking for the commission that I made here. Okay. So the information that I do not have is the percent commission. Ideally, I would just be able to plug in the percent commission to that $1,300 to get my answer, but I can't. So I need to work from my $1,500 shoes, $1,500 of merchandise, and my $120 commission. Okay. So my original, excuse me, my original times my percent is going to give me my new. In this case, my original is $1,500. My percent is unknown. I do not know. All right, so we'll say 1,500 times X equals 120. I'll divide both sides by 1,500, and that should give me my percent commission. Okay, and so I got 0.08, 0.08. And somebody here thinks that I might just go ahead and circle A because I think I should be done with this problem by now. And I'll just be like, you know what? It's probably just $8. But I'm not done. What I have to do now is find 8% of that $1,300 to see how much was made. Okay, and so I'm going to go over here, original times percent equals new. And my original in this case is 1,300 times 0.08, and that should give me what she made on Sunday. So what I got was 104. So on Sunday, we made $104. Talk through this again. I know that I make commission, and I know that on Saturday I sold $1,500 worth of shoes and made $120. So on Sunday, I only sold $1,300 worth of shoes, but I'm still going to make the same percent commission. I want to figure out how much I'm going to make. But in order to do that, I need to know what that percent commission is. So I work from the $1,500 and the 120 commission to set over here to find out that I have an 8% commission. And then I multiply that 8% times the $1,300 that I sold the next day to get 104, which is what I would make on Sunday. And it makes sense. I sold a little bit less on Sunday, so I made a little bit less on Sunday. All right. Whew, we're doing great here, guys. We're going to move on. I know that this is a longer homework review, but I feel like it's very important. And we're going to talk a little bit about simplifying expressions. And we did a lot of this today. And for the most part, I feel like most of you guys pretty much get it. When we have mistakes, they're sloppy mistakes, myself included. So you guys see me make a sloppy mistake at least once a day. And I will continue to appreciate it when you help me correct my sloppy mistakes. And hopefully I won't make any right now. If I do, please feel free to tell me tomorrow. But we're going to work really hard not to make those mistakes. Okay. So when I am combining like terms, what I showed you today, what I like to do, I actually like to draw like a shape around them. So like anything with A, for example, I would put a circle around 6A and I would put a circle around A. All right, and then I would put a square around 12 and a square around 1. Ooh, I already made a sloppy mistake, negative 6A. But because this is going to get really sloppy in this particular format, I'm actually just going to do different colors for the different terms that I can combine, okay? So I see here that I can combine negative 6a and a. And I also see that I can combine 1 and positive 12. So when I do that, if I have negative 6a and a, that's going to give me 5a, negative 5a, okay, because I had that 1a. And then I have 1 plus 12, and that will give me 13. So my simplified version here is negative 5a plus 13. Moving over here, all right, I can combine 9n and I can combine negative 12n. All right, it looks like I have two variables here. I can combine 10m with nothing. I don't have another m here. And then I have my constants. Do those in blue. I have my negative 8 and my positive 2. All right, so here I go. When I combine 9n and negative 12n, I get negative 3n plus, I can't combine anything with the 10m, so I'm just going to put plus 10m. And then I have negative 8 and positive 2, so that's going to give me minus 6. You could also put plus negative 6. Now let me go back and recheck that. So I had 9n and negative 12n, giving me negative 3n. I had 10m all by itself. And then I had negative 8 combined with positive 2 to give me negative 6. So I'll write this like this too. Negative 3n plus 10m could also equal plus negative 6. Either one of these, it's fine. They're equivalent. Moving along. Okay, I have two variables here too. So I have positive 4y and positive 2y. And then I have negative 8t and positive 9t. And I have negative 10 and negative 10. Okay. So I'm going to combine my positive 4y and my positive 2y. That's going to give me 6y. I will combine my negative 8t and my 9t. That will give me t. You could put 1t if you want to, okay, plus t. And then I have my negative 10 plus negative 10, which is going to give me negative 20. So I'll put minus 20. You could also put plus negative 20. Moving on. And this is where you guys start to go, oh my God, fractions, I can't do it. And I know that you can, so we're going to really work hard on this. Negative 2x can be combined with positive 7x. And 3/4 y can be combined with negative 1/4 y. So when I combine negative 2x and positive 7x, I get 5x. And when I combine 3/4 y with negative 1/4 y, I get 2/4 y. So positive and negative 1/4, yep, plus 2/4 y, 1/2 y is fine. I don't actually care if you simplify the fractions, but it's good to know in case this is a multiple choice, if you were to have seen 5x plus 1/2 y, that would have been fine. All right. Now here we have one that might at first seem daunting. So I have negative 11/4 x, which I can combine with negative 1/2 x. And I have my positive 16, which I can combine with negative 2. So I'm going to take a look here at this negative 11/4 x minus 1/2 x. I'm going to turn the 1/2 into 2/4 so that I'm working with negative 11/4 x minus 2/4 x. Okay, so then I have negative 11 minus 2 is going to give me negative 13. So that's going to give me negative 13/4 x. Okay, and then when I combine my 16 and my negative 2, that's going to give me 14. So I'll write that here. Negative 13/4 x plus 14. I could turn that into an improper, or sorry, a mixed number. So the it would be negative 3 1/4 x. And that's also fine. Okie dokie. I have 2/5 y and then negative 2/10 y. And I have negative 1/4 and positive 3/2. So let's talk about combining my 2/5 y and my negative 2/10 y. I kind of want to do the same thing I did over here. I want to take my 2/5, I'm going to turn that into 2/10. So I have 4/10. Sorry, I have 4/10 y minus 2/10 y, which is going to give me 2/10 y, or 1/5 y. Okay, and then when I combine my negative 1/4 plus 3/2, I'm actually going to turn, and I'll use a little space up here, I'm going to turn the 3/2 into 6/4. So I have negative 1/4 plus 6/4. So I can just say, okay, that's going to make it 5/4, right? The negative 1/4 plus 6/4. So that gives me 5/4, or 1 1/4. So I'll write my answer down here. I have 1/5 y plus 1 1/4. I could also have written 2/10 y plus 5/4. All right, whew, we're done with the fraction section. We have only 3 more to do. We're going to do some distribution. And I feel really confident that you guys are going to walk away from this knowing a lot more math. Let me erase these so I have room to distribute up here. Okay, cool. All right. So for this problem, I need to distribute the 4 on the outside of the parentheses to both the 8h and the 3. So I'm left with negative 7 plus, and I'll do it kind of like they did today in the packet, 4 times 8h plus 4 times 3. All right, so 4 times 8h is going to give me 32, 4 times 8, yeah, 32h plus 12. And then I have my negative 7 plus 32h plus 12. When I combine the negative 7 and the 12, I get 5. So I'm left with 32h plus 5. Moving on over here. So this is weird. I actually don't see this very often where I'm distributing a variable with a coefficient to the parentheses. So what I'm left here when I distribute this is I'm going to go 8x times negative 4 plus 8x times 12. And that's going to leave me with, so let's see, 8 times negative 32x plus 72x. And then I'm going to come out with a positive 40x. So my final answer here is 40x. All right, guys, last one. I'm going to distribute my -5 to -2 and positive 8x. So I'm going to have 9 minus 5 times -2 minus 5 times 8x. Okay, so when I do, I'm going to end up with positive 10. I have 9 plus 10 minus 40x. And so I'm left with negative 40x plus 19. All right, guys, we've spent about a half an hour together and we really dug deep into this homework. I promise you that this half hour of your life will feel really good when you're looking at an IA and you understand something a little bit better. So have a great night tonight, and I will see you all tomorrow.